Imagine this. A 2-month-old baby boy shows up at the hospital with a skull fracture. At first, it looks like a tragic accident. An older sibling with good intentions ends up accidentally dropping him. But then, a 10-year-old little girl tells investigators something that changes everything. She says that she was told to hurt the baby, instructed on different options for how she could hurt or even kill him. And the person behind it? Someone she spoke to online on a children's gaming site, Roblox of all places. Why on earth would a grown woman want a child to hurt a baby like that? Well, that is what we are going to unpack in this case. Be prepared though, because this case is disturbing. There are so many layers to unpack, and it is going to be hard to believe. But trust me, it's real. The case begins on September 26, 2024, when the Department of Child and Family Services received a tip to report the possible neglect of a 2-month-old infant who had been receiving treatment at the Sacred Heart Hospital for a skull fracture. According to hospital staff, the infant had been reportedly picked up by a 10-year-old girl after he became fussy, and she was walking with him through the kitchen to find an adult when she accidentally dropped him on the tile floor. He was then picked up by his caregiver, who took him to the hospital for treatment. According to reports, it appears that this little girl and the infant were living at the Gulf Coast Kids House in Pensacola, which is essentially where children will go when they are under the care of Child Protective Services. When DCFS followed on this tip and interviewed the 10-year-old, though, they learned that there was actually much more to this story than just a simple accident. The girl eventually admitted that she had been chatting with a 36-year-old woman, Tara Sykes, on the online game website Roblox. For the past several weeks, Tara had been instructing this 10-year-old girl on various ways to hurt and kill this infant. She told the DCFS worker that Tara told her to drown the baby in the bathtub, burn him with scalding hot water, and drop him onto the hard floor, so that is exactly what she ended up doing. Of course, hearing this statement was jarring. They were obviously expecting this to be an innocent accident at best, or at worst, a situation of the caregivers being neglectful. Maybe the 10-year-old realized that the caregivers weren't going to take care of the baby, so she tried to and ended up dropping him somehow. But this case was so much worse than that. So DCFS called in law enforcement, who arranged for another forensic interview to take place. In the second interview, the 10-year-old said much of the same. Tara had been sending her messages over Roblox, instructing her on various ways to kill this baby boy, burn him, drown him, or drop him on the floor. This time, though, she also said that Tara told her to kill her temporary guardians and one of the older children by cutting their throats with knives while they were asleep. She also instructed her to burn the house down by dousing the sheets with aerosol spray, placing the sheets around the house, and setting the sheets on fire. The 10-year-old admitted that she did actually douse the sheets with aerosol, but was unable to fully carry out the instructions, so she thankfully did not burn the house down. She ended up saying that she was terrified of Tara and was afraid that if she didn't do what she said, Tara would hurt or kill her or her biological family. After talking with the 10-year-old, officers also spoke with one of the guardians who worked with the little girl at that home. According to the guardian, she has seen the messages between Tara and the 10-year-old. Officers also spoke with her second guardian as well as their adult daughter, all who said that they saw screenshots of the Roblox messages. However, detectives were not able to review them themselves because the 10-year-old deleted the messages and did a factory reset of her device. Now, according to all three individuals, these messages confirmed once again that she was instructed to hurt and kill that baby. She was told to turn the water to the hottest setting and give the baby a bath until he was burned, but she was told to blame it on her guardians. Or she could fill up the tub and just hold his head underwater and drown him. Like I mentioned, she was also told to hurt her guardians, get a knife, sneak into their rooms in the middle of the night, and slit their throats. At one point, Tara also tried to get the 10-year-old to trick her guardians into driving her to an undisclosed location in Alabama. Once there, Tara would meet up with them and shoot the guardian in the head. Tara then said that she'd take the 10-year-old back to Florida with her and then leave the body of her guardian in Alabama. And again, in other messages, she told the girl how to burn the house down by spraying the sheets with aerosol and setting them on fire. Tara assured the girl that she wouldn't get in trouble because she's a child, but said that if she was caught and questioned by police, she should just start shaking and acting like she was crazy. Now, the guardian went on to say that she's the one who caught the girl trying to burn the house down because she found those sheets that didn't belong to her piled up around the house. And when she was caught, the girl basically just said, well, I guess I won't burn the house now because you caught me. Essentially, it sounded like this 10-year-old just didn't see anything wrong with what Tara was telling her to do. She didn't see a problem with slitting her guardian's throats in the middle of the night. If she wasn't caught with those sheets, she might have gone through with it and burned the house down, and she didn't see a problem with that. She dropped that baby on the floor and didn't think anything of it. But it seems that after sitting her down and really explaining the gravity of her actions, things kind of did click with her. Her guardian explained that she could have seriously hurt and permanently disabled the infant by dropping him. She could have also killed him, and there's no turning back from that. Once you kill someone, you cannot take that back, and they are gone forever. It was really only after she explained that the girl finally understood that what she was doing was very serious and very harmful. Which, to some, might sound a bit ridiculous, like how would a 10-year-old girl not know that these actions are seriously harmful and wrong? Most children by that age understand the difference between right and wrong. But first of all, to put it all into perspective, she is in a children's home, so there is clearly something wrong with her home life, which landed her in the care of Child Protective Services. But to add another layer onto it, we found out that she did actually have some sort of connection with Tara that may have made her more susceptible to trusting her. Now, it's never explicitly stated in court documents what their specific relationship was, but from what I deduced based on the language used, it appears that Tara was some sort of caretaker for the 10-year-old girl at one point or another before she ended up in that home. So maybe she was a relative who fostered her. Maybe she was just a foster parent somehow and ended up with the girl in her care before she was put in that home. We don't exactly know how she got to know the little girl, but we know that she did have some visits with her in person, so they had met. She had taken care of the girl at some point, and so they did have some sort of close personal relationship. Now, it also appears that Tara may have also had a connection to this 2-month-old infant as well. Okay, so when the little girl and the guardians were asked why Tara would want to hurt her guardians or any member of her biological family, because again, the little girl said that Tara did threaten to kill her biological family, they said that Tara was angry that she could no longer adopt the 10-year-old little girl. She had been arrested for child neglect a few months prior, which we will get into in a second, but due to this, I guess she was no longer eligible for adopting the little girl. Now, on May 28th of that same year, Tara Sykes and her husband, James Sykes, were both arrested on felony counts of child neglect after it was found that they allowed a 20-year-old man, Kyle Myers, to live in their home with their 14-year-old daughter, who he had gotten pregnant. According to court documents, their daughter was 31 weeks pregnant, and when this case went down, it appeared that she was malnourished. After their arrests, there was a thumb drive found containing messages between Kyle and their daughter, which discussed them having sex and her being pregnant. According to the 14-year-old victim, apparently Tara and James had gotten into contact with Kyle's grandmother and threatened to either shoot Kyle or get him sent to prison if she didn't send them $10,000. They apparently even showed up to her home in a van and threatened to cut Kyle open if she didn't send the money. So she sent them the money. But they kept the evidence on that thumb drive anyways in case they ever needed it. So in case, I guess, they ever needed to get this 20-year-old in trouble for getting their 14-year-old daughter pregnant, they kept the evidence but didn't think about the fact that they were allowing it to happen under their household. The 14-year-old went on to say that her parents would lock Kyle up in their home and prevent him from leaving, often threatening to hurt or kill him if he left. So Tara and James were eventually arrested for charges of extortion for that $10,000 blackmail scheme and for child neglect for allowing this 20-year-old to be involved with their underage daughter and allowing him to live in their home. They were told that they were not allowed to have contact with her or her child while the investigation was ongoing. However, I will note that Kyle Myers has not been arrested for having sex with a 14-year-old girl. But according to reports, when Tara found out that her daughter was pregnant, she became obsessed with that baby. During the pregnancy, she started referring to the baby as her own, often saying that her daughter was her surrogate and the baby was her son. According to her daughter, Tara would go as far as threatening to starve her if she didn't agree to give her child to her, hence the malnourishment. In another conversation, she then threatened to beat her daughter up until she gave birth and then would take the baby from her. Over time, people started calling Tara out on her unhealthy obsession with the baby, saying that this baby was not her son, it was her grandson, and said that she needed to treat her own daughter better. But of course, this all just made Tara become defensive and even violent. All of these different dynamics within that home is what led to this baby being sent to the Gulf Coast Kids House. So even though many of the names and relationships involved in this case are redacted and it's never outright stated, it appears that this infant was Tara's grandson, the 2-month-old infant that showed up to the hospital with the skull fracture. The timeline matches. Tara's daughter was 30-ish weeks pregnant in May, meaning that he would have been born sometime in early to mid-July. He was around 2 months old at the end of September. So Tara has some unknown connection with the 10-year-old. She knows her family somehow. Maybe she is related, maybe she's not. But regardless, she wanted to adopt her at one point, and now she can't because of her own actions, but she can't. And now that 10-year-old is staying at the same children's house as her grandson, or in her head, her son, who she was obsessed with. So for whatever reason, through some twisted justification in her mind, Tara allegedly decided that her best course of action was to convince this 10-year-old to try and kill this 2-month-old baby. Maybe it was to get revenge on her daughter who wouldn't just give up her baby to her. Maybe it was to get revenge on the people that wouldn't allow her to adopt the 2-month-old and the 10-year-old. Who knows what her thought process was during all of this. Either way, after learning all of this very disturbing information, Pensacola police arrested 36-year-old Tara Sykes on charges of attempted homicide while engaged in aggravated child abuse. At the time of her arrest, she acted very confused, saying that she had no idea what she could have done to cause officers to show up to her house. When they explained that they were there for charges of attempted murder, her jaw was literally on the floor. She was stunned. Immediately, she asked for her lawyer before she was put into the patrol car and transferred to the jail for booking. During the drive, she asked the officer multiple questions, which he really didn't have answers to. He just kept saying, "I don't know. I just know that you have a warrant and I was told to come and arrest you." By the time they got to the jail, though, he read off the charges from the sheet, which explained the summary of what she was accused of doing. And once again, she is absolutely stunned. She yelled, "Oh my God, I don't even know that baby. I've never even met that baby." And once again, the officer just kept saying that he didn't know. She has her court appearance, so she needs to wait for that.
Excuse me, Sheriff's Office.
Jesus, sorry, you scared me. Honey, the cops are here.
Tara?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I know.
Can you come out here and speak to us?
Yeah? They're arresting me.
Hi.
Did I do something? Okay, I haven't been home all day. Did I miss something?
We'll explain everything to you. We just got a couple of procedural things we got to do, get you secure and all that, and then
I do have an attorney. Can you call them? Do I need them present?
No.
we can't make that decision for you.
We'll talk this second. Just give us just a second, sweetie.
Okay.
Are you wanting to talk to your attorney before? I'm Investigator Lloyd, so I was going to explain everything to you once we get you to the Tahoe. So do you want to talk to your attorney before you answer any questions?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, you're being charged with principal and first degree to attempted homicide. Okay? That's what your warrant's for. So...
Attempted homicide?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, my God. Yes. Can I please talk with my attorney? I am so confused.
All right, come on.
Wow, so many of y'all? What'd I do?
He just told you what you did.
No, but that's where I'm confused, sir. I've been home.
I
And
got
then
you.
I went fishing with my friend.
I understand that. You'll get the copy of the report at the jail.
I'm going to jail?
Yes.
Okay, I really need to talk to my attorney.
You'll talk to him once you get to the jail and get a phone call.
Do I have bond?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the warrant. He got the warrant. He got the paperwork. 305. I got one detained.
Oh my gosh. I am so confused and I'm scared.
You got one detained.
I didn't touch it. I didn't do anything.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. What'd I do? He said this was a what? A felony?
Yeah, you'll get the copy of the report. I'm about to go pick it up in a second.
Well, see, what report? I'm confused. Y'all just put me in handcuffs and put me in a car. Since it's Friday, will I have to wait till Monday to see a judge?
That I don't know is up to the system. This how it works. Law enforcement writes reports. It gets approved and sent to the judge. After the judge signs off on it, law enforcement don't have no other hands on it but to arrest you and take you to jail. Whatever the judge and they schedule and all that, that's what the courts and what they decide. As soon as we write our reports and we send it to the judge sign off on a warrant. The judge said everything. Man, I just picked you up on a warrant. I didn't do the report. So we got called and said you had a warrant for your arrest, and we showed up and brought you in.
I get I had a warrant, but I really feel like my attorney should have said, hey, you have a warrant, you need to come in, we need to talk about it, you need to turn yourself in or something. Because I have no idea what I'm being arrested for. I haven't even been around.
Well, on here it says, intentionally committed 1 count offense, principal of first degree to attempted murder while engaged in aggravated child abuse.
What?
While instructing to purposely drop on the floor and attempted to end his life.
Oh my God! I had nothing to do with that.
So that's what it says.
Oh my God! Are you
Route
kidding me?
3905 West Mallory
I've
Street.
never even met the baby.
I understand that, but you just something that you're gonna have to
Oh my God!
something that you're gonna have to get a hold of right there.
Oh my God! He charged for something. I've never even met him.
Yeah, I understand.
Oh my God! No, you don't. No, you don't, sir. I've never even met that baby. And all my visits are supervised at Lakeview.
I understand.
Isn't this on video? How do I fight that?
You got first appearance in court.
Oh my God.
Hold on a second.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is a setup. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God, this cannot be happening.
After being booked into jail, she had her bail hearing where she was given a $3.2 million bail. So she remained in jail as the investigation continued. However, like I said, even though multiple adults said that they saw the conversations with Tara and the 10-year-old herself reported being instructed by her, those screenshots had been deleted. It sounds like after the guardians caught the 10-year-old doing all that stuff and caught her talking to Tara, and after they saw the screenshot, she didn't want to get in more trouble. So that is probably why she deleted everything. It makes sense. However, it does not appear that they were able to recover those messages. It was also said that Roblox did their own internal investigation, and apparently they found no violent messages between Tara and the 10-year-old girl. I will say in the warrant for Tara's arrest, it's stated that during one of the visits Tara had with the 10-year-old girl, she had set the 10-year-old girl up a Roblox account with her email and instructed her to message her on Roblox. So it doesn't appear that Tara just happened to find out that the 10-year-old was on Roblox and used that as a way to connect with her. It seems like she wanted her to go on Roblox because maybe she knew that the messages wouldn't be found, or maybe she knew that the messages weren't being monitored, or whatever the case was. Tara purposely, apparently, allegedly, wanted the 10-year-old girl to go on Roblox to message her. So there is something to be said with that. But at that point, all investigators had to go off of was the word of the caregivers and the 10-year-old little girl, which just is not enough to go to trial. So the prosecution ended up working up a plea deal with Tara. I will say that this happened over a year later, so I do think they did try to investigate this case to the best of their ability, and they just could not find anything concrete to bring to trial. So unfortunately, they dropped those attempted murder charges, and instead she pleaded no contest to child neglect. As a result, by January of 2026, she was sentenced to 11 months and 30 days behind bars. By that point, though, she had already spent over a year in jail, so she was given credit for time served and was immediately released. As for the other charges involving her 14-year-old daughter, I do believe that case is still open. But that is where the case sits as of right now. This case just has so many layers, and even though it was a short one, there was still so much to it, so much to unpack. To me, I think this is a very clearly mentally unstable woman who started to spiral when she found out her daughter was pregnant. That's where this all began. She must have been upset over the fact that a 20-year-old got her daughter pregnant. But instead of reporting it, instead of doing the right steps to make it right, she blackmailed someone for money and tortured her own daughter and the guy who got her pregnant. Then that made it so she couldn't adopt this 10-year-old girl who she apparently had this connection with. She also lost her grandson, who she was absolutely obsessed with, before he was even born. She lost everything in her eyes. It all spiraled out of control, so she just continued to try to use and manipulate people. She used that 10-year-old to hurt that baby because, in my opinion, I think that in her twisted mind, she saw it as revenge to her daughter for how she was hurt, for not just giving up her baby, even though it was her own baby. All of this was done, in my opinion, because she's a selfish, mentally unstable woman who can't see the wrong in her own actions and is constantly just pushing the blame elsewhere, trying to get others to do her bidding. And when she was caught for it, I genuinely think she was surprised, because I don't think she thought she was going to be caught. And I think in her mind, everything she does is justified. So she was really surprised when she was actually getting in trouble for it, because she didn't think she did anything wrong. Now, I do personally believe that she did send those messages. I don't see any reason for those guardians to lie about it. The 10-year-old, obviously, she did have a reason to lie. She's the one who dropped the baby. She's the one who could have gotten in trouble. But those guardians, the 2 guardians and their adult daughter, 3 separate people who each saw those messages, I just don't see why they would lie. As for why Roblox didn't find the messages, I think there could be multiple reasons. They either maybe didn't look hard enough because they did see that the 10-year-old's account was messaging with Tara, so they know that there were messages. They either didn't look hard enough for those specific messages, or they're saving face. I think we've seen Roblox in the headlines a lot recently, connected to crimes of adults taking advantage of children. It's the unfortunate reality we live in, where children go online, think that they're safe, talking to their friends or other kids who just want to play games, when in reality, there are adults lurking, looking for children to take advantage of. Roblox and similar platforms have gotten a lot of heat lately, so I could see them conveniently not finding these violent messages, especially if they should have been flagged a long time ago, like when they were originally sent and they just weren't. The fact that a company was able to basically investigate themselves and see if their platform was used to carry out a crime, that just shouldn't have happened in my opinion. I think police should have been able to go in there, and I'm not exactly sure why they weren't able to. There must have been some sort of legal justification for why they weren't able to confirm this, or maybe they did and it just wasn't stated. But at the end of the day, this is what's happened, and this is the plea deal that she made. So maybe they dropped the charges so that if more evidence comes up eventually, they can recharge her. But at this point, that's where the case sits, and she's still a free woman. This case just serves as yet another example to any parents out there to just stay vigilant to what your child is doing online. It's not always these online chat rooms like Discord or Snapchat anymore. It's online games where children feel safe. It's unfortunate, but the places that are supposed to be the most relaxed, the most kid-friendly, the safest, that is where the predators are going to be. So just make sure that you are always monitoring what your child is doing online, even if it seems like they're just on some child-friendly game. In the end, I'm just glad that the 2-month-old infant is still alive. I hope that he's healed from his injuries and hopefully isn't suffering from any lifelong pain or trauma. I hope that the 10-year-old girl has learned and is able to grow from her mistakes and realize that not every adult is to be trusted and that her actions can truly have devastating consequences. I hope that she can learn to be a better person because of this. And I hope that Tara learns from her actions, though I highly doubt it, and I will not be surprised if we see her name in the headlines again sometime in the future. But that is all I have for today's case, and now I want to hear from you all. What do you think about this case? Do you think that Tara sent those messages and really instructed the 10-year-old to do all of those horrible things? If so, why? Do you think Tara should have been convicted of a more serious crime? Let's discuss this and any other thoughts you have in the comments below. If you like this video, please make sure to go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I put out new true crime and mystery videos every single week. Don't forget to turn the notification bell too on so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Spotify. All will be linked down below. And if you have any case suggestions, please make sure to fill out the Google form, which is also listed down below. With that, I hope you guys have an amazing week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.